Hi, hello, my name is Gomer Joseph. I hope you've all been having a great day so far. Welcome back to another True Crime Tuesdays video. If you are new, I welcome you. Today, I'll be discussing a requested case of the unsolved case of Alonzo Brooks. Researching this case, I just found it to be so frustrating and extremely strange. This is one of those cases where if certain choices were made differently, then there could have been a much different even better outcome. Unfortunately, what's done is done, and we can only pray that we get answers. Now, I encourage you all to do your own research of this case and not just look at my video for all of the information. Here we go. Alonzo Brooks was born on May 19th of 1980 in Topeka, Kansas, to parents Billy Brooks and Maria Ramirez. Alonzo also went by Zoe. He was the youngest of 5 siblings. Alonzo was close with his family. He was known to be athletic, kind, sweet, shy, loving, fun. He was able to get along with mostly anyone that he crossed paths with. And he mostly wore red because that was his favorite color. Later on in life, he moved to Gardner, Kansas with his mother Maria. On April 3rd of 2004, Alonzo is 23 at this point and he is working as a custodian. That day, he decides to go ahead and tell his mom that he is going to this party with a few friends in this place called Lasinge, Kansas, which is 50 miles away from his home. He tells his mother Maria that he would see her later. But what Maria does not know is that she would never see her youngest child alive again. When Alonzo and his friends arrived at this party, things were going well for the group. He and his friends were truly enjoying themselves until Alonzo got into this altercation with someone he didn't really know at all. Come to find out, this altercation was racially motivated, and it seemed like Alonzo was one of, or actually the only person of color at this party. To prevent the altercation from becoming physical, his friends pulled him away. So sometime after this happens, one by one, his friends begin to leave this party, leaving Alonzo with at least 2 friends, I believe. One of his friends who are still with him, named Justin, he planned to buy cigars at a nearby store and come back. And again, this is early 2000s. This is like what, 2000? This is like 2004. So Justin, he is, he plans to go to this local store to get the cigars. Doesn't think that he'll go ahead and take long. But the thing is that he gets lost and he gets stuck, calling another friend at the party to help him out. Sorry, I think I forgot really talk about my point about the early 2000s, because with the early 2000s, I don't really think, at least because I was around in the early 2000s, smartphones weren't really, a thing. So it's not really like you can go ahead and pull up your smartphone and just use the GPS. It's like, I just still remember MapQuest in order to get by. So, I guess Justin was really going off of either what's directions that somebody told him or whatever. Overall, Justin is stuck. Alonzo is at the party, so he calls another friend at the party to help him out with the situation he's in. What Justin didn't realize that night was that leaving the party without Alonzo would have been one of the biggest mistakes of his life. The next day, Alonzo's mom, Maria, received a call from someone asking if Alonzo was home. Maria noticed that her son did not come home, which was unusual since Alonzo would usually come back home, or at least let her know if he would be spending the night over at someone else's house. So friends kept getting in touch with one another, calling one another, asking if they heard from Alonzo or who saw him last. Justin is notified that Alonzo never made it back home. He knew that, because like I said, Justin was leaving the party to get cigars. So when he left, he he knew that his friend Adam was still at the party, but according to Adam, he thought that Alonzo had already left. So he left the party, which means that Alonzo was literally completely alone in a party with a group of strangers. Here is the thing. Like, for me, I do not ever go to the sort of party that is described here, but if you do, communication is key. So please do not leave until you know that everyone in the friend group has a way back home. I do not care if you think they're gonna find a way back home. You be 100% sure that you do not leave a party before anyone else until it's situated as to who is leaving with who. After the events that have occurred, the friends stated how guilty they felt for their decisions, and honestly, like, I truly am sorry for, what they will experience later on. But yes, they should feel guilty because you do not leave anyone at a party by themselves, especially when you go to a place where you do not know the majority of the people. But I'm not saying that they should receive guilt for the events that would occur. But yeah, this could have easily, because of what would happen, things could have easily have been prevented. Now, nobody is able to contact Alonzo. Nobody has seen Alonzo, so the friends begin looking for him, eventually finding a hat and boots scattered apart from, near the area where the party was. Realizing that something serious had happened to Alonzo, Maria gets word of this and she begins to report Alonzo missing. But as usual with these sort of stories with adults, she was told to wait 48 hours until Alonzo could be reported missing. So the family began looking for Alonzo since the police weren't looking for him initially. They reached the house, looked in, and saw that it was empty, which is something that they thought to be weird, especially since there was a party the night before. The family begins to drive around the area, and again, Alonzo belongs to this Afro-Latino family, and, Alonzo's family felt plenty of eyes on them, especially since this was a majority white, majority white, I think like 99.1% white neighborhood. Once again, the family goes to the police urging them to look. But the police tells them not to worry and that Alonzo would come back. But again, this is something that the family is adamant that Alonzo would not do. Plus, I'm pretty sure that the family would know Alonzo more than the police, who don't know anything about Alonzo at all. Well, after the 48 hours have arrived, the police did begin searching for Alonzo, and eventually the FBI would go looking for him. Investigators started questioning people, even doing polygraph tests, all the while thinking that Alonzo got drunk, took off his shoes, and started walking. Around this time, Alonzo had a messed up ankle too, so his family didn't understand why the theory was that Alonzo would even take off his boots to begin with. Plus, if this theory was actually true, you mean to tell me that he would just go ahead and wander for days where he has more than enough time to sober up and contact someone to help him out? While the search is going on, the police even tells the family to stop calling them. Like, the audacity. Like, they are the concerned family who have every right to call every single day to receive updates on Alonzo's whereabouts. On May 1st of 2004, almost like a full month after Alonzo went missing, This is the day where the family is allowed, to start searching for Alonzo, because the police wouldn't really allow them to start searching, before, while the police were searching. It was really confusing. But this is really like the only time that the, family is allowed to have their search of their own, have volunteers, and they are allowed to go ahead and search around the area of this party. On the exact day that the family and the volunteers start searching for Alonzo, the family's worst nightmare comes true. Alonzo's body was found in the creek near the area of the house party. After his family found him, it completely broke them. Because as I initially heard about this, I was thinking to myself, like, how in the world did the family take one day to find Alonzo? But as for the police and the FBI, who are supposed to be experts, they just couldn't seem to locate this young man at all. From the police's perspective, they state that because, the levels of the creek had changed because it was raining recently, Alonzo's body probably couldn't be found initially. And I'm not a scientist. I've discussed in previous videos how science is not my greatest subject at all. But I still think that it's really weird that the police would do this extensive search, but the exact day when the family starts searching, they conveniently find Alonzo's body. As for the family, they believe that someone actually had Alonzo's body throughout that whole time, and which truly creeps me out, because you have to be a sick individual as to store someone's body away like that. They believe that Alonzo's body was probably stored in some sort of like freezer and placed his body at the creek after getting word that his family was searching for him. An autopsy was done, and it was, according to this initial autopsy, it was shown to be undetermined, which his family was not buying. The family felt like foul play was involved, especially since his boots and his hat were scattered in different areas. After Alonzo's passing, there were a number of rumors. There were rumors that Alonzo wandered around, that his friends were involved, or that he was snatched off the side of the road, all different sorts of rumors. Eventually, the investigation of Alonzo's passing was closed because the Kansas Bureau of Investigation felt like there was no indication of foul play. But in July of 2020, Alonzo's body was exhumed. Another autopsy was done by the armed forces, and I didn't even think that they even, did autopsies for these sort of cases. But according to the autopsy by the armed forces, it was determined that someone did intentionally take Alonzo's life. That's all the information I can share with you. If you are watching this and you have any information at all, please be a snitch. Call 911 or call 816-512-8200. It has been almost 20 years since Alonzo lost his life. He had this bright future ahead of him, and unfortunately, it was just snatched away. There's this big hole in the lives of his loved ones, and I pray for his loved ones as they still mourn Alonzo to this day. My prayer is that God would comfort them in their mourning, and that his loved ones would seek God. And I pray that God will provide them with the answers that they have been searching for all of these years. I even pray that those who were responsible for Alonzo's life would repent of their sins and trust in Jesus Christ alone to be their Savior. I pray that they would realize the sorts of evil that they committed and just turn themselves in so that they can pay for the wickedness that they have done. The God that I serve, the God of the Bible, is a God of justice. He knows exactly who took Alonzo's life that day and will make sure that justice is served. I thank you all for taking the time in your day to watch this video. If you did like the video, please feel free to hit the like button. If you have any thoughts on this case at all, please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you'd like to see more videos from me, please feel free to subscribe and click the bell to be notified about the next video. If there is a certain true crime case that you'd like me to cover, go ahead and let me know. I will see y'all for next True Crime Tuesdays, and I will talk to y'all later.